from One White Crow, and she says, I would purely love to hear any and all 60s in San Francisco anecdotes you'd be willing to share with us. That period fascinates me. Were you there during the Summer of Love? Did you ever see Janis Joplin? And by the way, a couple other people asked about the 60s in San Francisco. So, living in San Francisco in the 60s was great. I was, in my teens during that time. And, I was there at the Summer of Love. I was 16 years old, and that was fascinating. I used to go down to Haight Street, and there'd be all these head shops with incense and drug paraphernalia and posters. Concert posters and black lights and stuff like that. I could smell patchouli oil in the air. Walking down Haight Street was great because you never knew who you would run into. One time I saw Janis Joplin. On the street corner. And I saw Barry from Country Joe and the Fish. One time on the street. One time I just happened upon a free concert by the Youngbloods. They just spontaneously set up their band on the panhandle of Golden Gate Park and started playing, so that was a surprise. In Golden Gate Park, which is nearby the Haight-Ashbury district, there's an area called Hippie Hill, and so that was kind of where all the hippies hung out. I considered myself a hippie too, and it was quite magical. It was really quite magical early on. There were all these random acts of kindness that were happening. For instance, one time this young woman came over to me and she said, "Want a free ice cream?" And she handed me a free ice cream bar. So it's weird now. I wouldn't take food from strangers, but at the time I thought it was cool, and I ate the ice cream. There were people wearing flowers and beads and all kinds of stuff. Lots of free concerts in the park. And I used to go to the Fillmore Auditorium and the Avalon Ballroom, Winterland, for these amazing rock concerts. And they were in fairly small auditoriums where you could actually dance to the music. And it was quite cheap. It was something like $5 to hear a whole evening of music. And one time I went and saw Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead, and Quicksilver Messenger Service all in one show. And at one place they gave out free apples to anybody. It was just amazing. Let's see. Some other people I saw in those places were Big Brother and the Holding Company with Janis Joplin. Albert King, who's B.B. King's brother, blues guitarist. I saw Donovan, That was a magical show. He came out in these white robes and sang beautiful love songs, basically. Love in the broader sense of the term. And I even saw Tiny Tim once. And that wasn't that great. I had liked a few of the recorded songs that he had made, like the old 1940s or 30s songs, but no, he wasn't that great in concert. That's pretty much it. It was really great to be a teenager in the 60s in San Francisco. Ferds Reens 954 asks, how is it like being in the 70s with all those kick-ass bands like Led Zepp, Black Sabbath, Hendrix and the Experience, Wings, Plastic Ono Band, The Doors, and so many more to mention? Is it really cool to be alive and a teenager during those days? Ha ha ha, the hip clothes, the bell-bottom pants, the longish hair. Wee-hoo! Okay, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that too much longer because I kind of touched on it already, but yeah, it was great. And as you can see from my video called A Lifetime of Jim, you can see how my hair was quite long at times. And that was fun. Bell-bottom pants, yeah, I had some bright purple bell-bottom corduroy pants that I remember wearing. And let's see. Oh yeah, I wasn't much into heavy metal, but I loved the Jimi Hendrix Experience and the Doors. Yeah, they're great. A lot of good music, and fortunately we can enjoy it still today. I noticed some discrimination, especially in the 60s when I started growing my hair long. People would honk and yell if they saw me walking on the street, and they'd say, "Get a haircut!" or whatever. There was some discrimination there, which I hated, but I was also kind of a member of a subculture, which felt pretty cool if I were among like-minded people. Mango 8260 said, that would be cool to hear about San Francisco in the 60s. If you're really 57, that is. LOL. Okay, yeah, I pretty much covered that already too. Okay, that's about it. Okay, bye.